You'll notice up at the top, Home Native, which is the icon for Native Ministry International. I'm going to select it. It now opens. I happen to have selected this as a desktop site, like what's on my thing, but if I select the regular phone screen, which you normally would open to, it will appear like this. But I'm going to go back up to the top right hand corner, 3 dots, which is a shortcut menu. I'm going to scroll down to desktop site with a little box. I'm going to select the little box, which will transform what appears on my phone as what is on a normal laptop or desktop site. I can go ahead and turn my phone and now look at it in this manner. I want to teach us today how to use the menu to find resources. If I look at that, resources, general resources, leadership resources. For right now, we'll confine this video to general resources. So once we look at the general resource page, you'll see the introduction, special resources as a business or ministry, how to go ahead and handle the coronavirus. It'll have over 20 resources as far as what to do, how to broadcast, do meetings. You'll see the overview, Native Resources, Overcoming Addictions, Conferences and Camps at the very end. I'm going to go ahead and select Native Resources. There are a number of categories that are here. The very first one on the top left is over 100 websites, all things Native. Now this is for what I call, if you're Native American and you just want to know about us, whether you're an individual, business, ministry, 501(c), educational person, wanting to do Native tourism, here's a number of places you need to be aware of. Now you'll notice Native businesses and leaders. So if I were to click the very first one, top 21 Native American organizations to know, you will see quite a number of websites or individual organizations that you need to be aware of. So I will go ahead and click the back arrow on my phone. U.S. Department of Indian Affairs, Tribal Leaders by State. So if I were to select Tribal Leaders by State, if I wanted to know a particular state and a particular tribe within that state, I could simply scroll to whatever state I was interested in. If I were to go ahead and select Montana, or excuse me, Minnesota there, and you were to go to, for instance, Cass Lake, up here, you would notice you have both the chairman and president listed. Different ones may have one person listed. Some are called chairmen, some are called chiefs, some are called presidents. There's any variety, chief executive officer, and so on, that people take as their names for their particular tribe. Governor even. So there you go. Now, tribal leaders directories by state, zip code, title names, National Congress of American Indians, North American Tourism, BIA sites, helping to establish, support Native businesses, small business help for Natives, National Job Finder for Native Americans, 200 Native organizations and list of American Indian centers, all the Indian pueblos, best Native hotels, the newspapers and media. Now the second one is native census. You can do it by dates, as you see, or you have it on microfilm prior to 1885. Good way for a family to find who their ancestors are. It's also a good way for a tribe to verify that indeed in history, some point in time, a family member was related, or a person claiming. We all know the one who claimed to be Cherokee. They did their own research and found out it was not so. So there's a way of doing this. Now, native culture, choosing baby names, learning 175 languages, the atrocities, and you see fry bread recipes and so on and so forth. Museums, names of native dogs. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up here. And to the right, native education, the native colleges, universities, boarding schools, scholarships, how to access them, native health, general health resources, centers for disease control, counseling, suicide prevention, natives with disabilities, fighting opioid uses. Native maps. There's all kinds of mapping features. There's a placeholder map you might be interested in. And so if you were to look at that particular one, you would see, as I click the placeholder map, that you can see all the native nations where they are geographically. In the country. You can just simply expand it. The further out you expand it, the easier it is to tell which tribe is which. Now the functionality of this is, if I were to click San Carlos Apache tribe to the bottom right, if you look at the very bottom of the phone, it brings up their email, phone, website. So I could go directly to their website. Back arrow, back arrow, back arrow, back arrow, back here. Okay, now, native media, newspapers, podcasts, journals, Ajax Media, which is a native production company. He does work by way of producing video for Hollywood films. He's currently in Minneapolis doing a TV program. He does major sporting events. He will do tribal leaders as far as creating a tribal spot for any business person. He does weddings, just anything with his production company traveling the nation. Tribal listings. Different ways of finding tribes. You see all of these things available. Now this is just 100 websites, the very first one. I will not take time to, other than allude, you see all the various things that are tribal. Now, overcoming addictions with God's help. Well, I believe the Great Spirit must help us. So here you see now Bible study resources if you have any interest. Help with the family. There's free professional counseling one time for people, psychiatrists, psychiatric, or and various other people that can provide help for the family. Now, using the internet as a business, as a ministry, as an individual, 501(c)(3)s get $10,000 free Google ad money a month. How to live stream, how to use various ways of doing it. Now, social media. Here's how to not get listed as spam by Facebook or you're blocked. How to pre-record a message and then post it on Facebook for later use. How to do 4 different types of business ads. All of this is provided, and a lot of this has been learned in seminars that I've gone to conducted by Facebook and other media sites. So I get the training and I try to pass on what I learn to other people, recognizing that not everybody will have that time nor capability. Now, there's a number of video resources to the right, and then I will just mention spiritual gifts, how to grow spiritually, recommended books. Secrets of Your Family Tree was a book I just noticed. What happens, and so many of us come from dysfunction, that if we grow up and we didn't care, but yet we are now adults and we're broken, how do we put our life back together? What should I be as an adult? So, Secrets of Your Family Tree. I take you to Amazon for any particular book. That is how to use the resources, and those are the general resources.